Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Jamie Lammers, and welcome to Music of the Mountains, where to be and what to see, brought to you by the Mountaineer Podcast. Today, we're featuring a band that's coming all the way from Colorado Springs to perform at the Jamestown Mercantile. So be sure to stay tuned to learn more about the band Patchwork Jack. In Music of the Mountains, we want to make sure we keep you up to date with all of the great music events in the Peak to Peak area, and that includes music events from this week's sponsor, Eldora Mountain Resort. Skip the epic traffic on I-70 and head to Eldora for good vibes all season long. Eldora is your go-to spot for non-stop winter fun, with great local skiing and riding, plus slopeside DJs and the App Race Music Series. Don't miss the Full Moon Ski Tour, the Timbers Rail Jam, or the Morning Uphill Grind. Get all the details and check out weekly events at eldora.com. See you on the mountain! And now, let's get into the interview.
All right. So do you mind just introducing yourself real quick?
Sure, yeah. My name is Shane Lory, here with the band Patchwork Jack. On my left, we got
Shane Nelson. I play the mandolin.
That's right, we got two Shanes. On my right over here.
I'm Barack. I play accordion.
I'm Jenny, and I play bass.
And we're missing our cello player, Tommy, who's back down in Chile for a family emergency right now.
Heart and soul of the band.
Heart and soul of the band is missing, but he'll be back before too long.
Gotcha. I wish him well, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's great to have you all on, and I hear that you guys are coming to the Jamestown Mercantile to perform very soon.
We sure are. Very excited about it.
Are we?
March 13th.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
First time finding out about it. I love it.
Barack definitely checks his calendar. He definitely knows.
I check my calendar 1 week in advance. Every week.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I'm the same way. I get it. Yeah. So how did Patchwork Jack as a band get started? Where does the name come from? What are some of your guys' musical influences? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a great question. This is Shane Lory speaking for the records. But yeah, before the band was really gathered together, I had released one song as a solo project called Patchwork Jack, and at the time, the reasoning was I was like mostly into folk music, but I was starting to learn how to produce like synthwave tracks, and I wasn't sure what genre direction we were going to end up going, but I just knew I wanted to make some music and put it out into the world. And then that idea kind of got folded into the full band once we got more people involved. Patchwork sort of representing a fusion of genres and influences from all over the place. So that kind of stuck. We kind of stuck with that theme, but instead of synthwave, now our main influences are more along the lines of klezmer, cumbia, and country, brought by the different members of the band who we've recruited since.
Sweet.
And Jack, I don't know why Jack. I think we just used to call each other Jack in high school. Everyone was Jack. So it's kind of like the patchwork is all inclusive. You know, anyone can hop on.
It's not about Jack Johnson.
It's not about Jack Johnson. Not about Jack Johnson. It has nothing to do with Jack Johnson.
Don't put that in the podcast.
Right. This is a live thing.
This is a live.
Just so you know, moving forward.
I'm just trying to give you some good sound.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Yeah, and so in terms of your guys' just individual influences before the band, what kind of brought you all together in terms of musicality as individuals?
Yeah, I think maybe Brock can answer this question. Besides being musicians, we've also all been friends since before we started playing music together for the most part. Brock, I don't know, what's your take on the origins?
Well, I would say one huge component for some of us is being part of some community jams that were going on for a decade before the band started, and just really finding the joy in getting into a room together and playing songs you don't know that well and making a lot of noise and a lot of fun together. And that's definitely part of my history playing with Jenny for many years and my history playing with Shane over here. So I think, this combination of a kind of wild communal love for music, combining that and then actually Shane having a vision to like clean it up and create a little bit of order and a little bit of structure so that we actually know the songs we're playing and are showing up regularly to learn them has really honed that really communal, wild kind of music into something that can be shared a little more easily.
Yeah, we were all part of a jam. There's an organization here in Colorado Springs. We're in Manitou Springs right now, but most of us have lived in the Manitou Springs, Colorado Springs area for the last long time. But there's an organization here called Concrete Couch that hosts a really cool jam for musicians of all types and levels. And I think that's where I met Jenny for the first time. Yeah, it must have been, I don't know, 7 years, 10 years ago? 10 years ago, yeah. And since then, it's been really fun to kind of like hang out. And we actually, 4 out of 5 of us kind of live all in the same cluster of blocks in the same neighborhood. So it's kind of like a really nice, just walk down the street and play music with your friends kind of band practice. Also affords us the opportunity to be together all the time and strengthen the bonds that make the music special, you know.
Piss each other off.
And piss each other off. That's also part of the special sauce. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And I assume that connection between you guys all these years has also helped a lot in shaping the band and where it's gone over the years.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of writing the songs especially, you know, and performing the songs together, what has been the collaboration process in terms of that over the years?
Yeah, I think when we first started out, I had sort of this cluster of songs that I wanted to bring to life with the band, and that was sort of the avenue we were taking it first. But since we've opened it up and we're learning songs that everyone else in the band has written too, and sort of incorporating more influences from outside of just my personal history. So Tommy, our cello player, he's from Chile and kind of has spent a lot of time teaching us how to play cumbia music and has introduced some of his original compositions into our repertoire as well. And likewise, our accordion player, Barack, comes from sort of a klezmer background and has been teaching us some classical klezmer music and also has been teaching us some of his more folky, indie folky songs that we've included in our repertoire as well. And our mandolin player writes songs as well, Shane Nelson over here.
Yeah, and I think we've also we started out playing a lot more like kind of bluegrass, folky, dancey, country type stuff. And just kind of over the years, we've had a number of gigs in which we were kind of asked specifically to either learn maybe a bunch of klezmer songs or a bunch of cumbia songs. We kind of have a habit of branding ourselves as a band that can play genres that we don't actually necessarily know how to play until we learn them for the gig. But it's really given us a reason to learn a whole bunch of songs that we might not have otherwise, from cumbia to klezmer, but also some Romani songs, a whole bunch of Beatles songs. Yeah, so that's been really fun.
Definitely. Playing weddings has been interesting because we always get, a list of requests from the happy couple. So we're always learning stuff that we might not have otherwise anticipated learning, and it's helping us grow our skills and abilities, and our own composition has definitely been affected as well, which has been really cool.
And one really cool thing that happened a couple years ago is a couple of us, Shane Nelson, the mandolin player, and I took a songwriting class with Adrian Lanker online through the School of Song. It's a really cool website, and they bring in professional, famous musicians and give people access to them through these classes. And that winter resulted in some really inspired songwriting for a lot of people here in Manitou. And it's been really cool to see how Patchwork Jack has enough space for that, and has enough space for Shane and I to bring a couple of our original songs that are just raw and turn them into something that's fun to perform and that people like.
That is awesome. And for all of you guys, is there a favorite part for each of you about being able to perform in this band, share this experience with an audience, just perform in general?
Who wants it?
I like practicing more than performing.
Yes, Jenny. Expand.
I don't know if I have more to say.
Practically is more fun sometimes.
I just really enjoy playing music, and if there's an audience, okay, but it's not necessarily my goal in playing music.
Yeah, it's like sometimes all the stuff that comes with being a working band, while it's exciting in its own right, also can be sort of a distraction from the core joy of just playing the music together, which is sweet. And practice allows us to kind of just relax and do our thing and not be worried about it, and not be worried about tweaking our sound or what anyone's thinking about it. We can just kind of get together and jam, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like being in a band is honestly like I just never play music as consistently as I do when I'm in a band. I mean, I guess I've been lucky at certain times to be, like, I lived in Fort Collins for a while, and there's a really strong bluegrass jam community. But in the years since living there, I've really been missing that consistency. And so I feel like joining the band has been really super fun to just play music with friends every single week. Yeah, and like Jenny said, it kind of started out feeling like I just had to learn to live with the live performance, and it was pretty terrifying. I mean, I grew up here in Colorado Springs playing in a band, and I remember when I got out of that band just thinking, like, I'm never going to live in Colorado Springs again, and I'm never going to play in a band and perform in front of people ever again. Ever.
And look at you.
But, you know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, here I am all of a sudden in my 30s playing with a bunch of my friends, and it is really fun because I think the performances kind of fuel the practices in a lot of ways. Like, it just makes it so much more motivating to keep learning new songs and kind of work on our dynamic and our energy. So it's actually been kind of unexpectedly really, really joyful. And, you know, like, there's just nothing like a really good show or a really good festival, just kind of the energy that you pick up from the crowd.
For sure. Yeah, when we first started playing out, we kind of had to like coax Shane Nelson out from behind the speaker stack into the spotlight, which was awesome, and it was a really cool step. And then we had to do the next step, which was get him to sing into a microphone. And then we did that step, and then the next step was getting him to sing his own songs into the microphone. And yeah, now here we are.
The payoff has been huge.
And the payoff has been huge. Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of disagree. I mean, I like practice and I like hanging out with you guys, but for me, like, the performance is kind of where it's at. Like, I live for that moment where there's a lot of people and we're all on the same beat.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's fun to be on the same beat with 5 friends, but it's incredible to be on the same beat with 50 people or 100 people.
Yeah.
Or more. And so I think, like, having had the opportunity to kind of build our comfort up and now be in settings where we get synced up with a whole audience full of people, and, you know, we got a pretty good group of friends who love our songs and show up to a lot of our shows, and to hear people singing along and knowing where the break is and where the chorus is going to hit. And I just love that feeling of everyone being together in a song, and that is only amplified when we're doing a show.
Totally, yeah. I feel the same way. Kind of like that magical feedback loop that happens with an audience. And it can go both ways. It can go wrong, it can go right, you know? But when the energy's right and when you're really connecting, and it's, sort of a collective experience where everyone is really tuned in and locked into the same frequency together, it's truly special. Yeah, keeps me going, fuels the soul.
And yeah, is there anything else in general about the group and the songs that you hope people will kind of take away from all of your shows when they see you guys perform? You know, is there something that you hope they gain from it?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, not to be too like contrite, or is that a word, contrite? Contrite, conceived, preconceived. Not to be too cliche about it. But yeah, I don't know, I think there's such a diversity of influences that kind of bring the band together. I think we also kind of find that at our shows too, bringing different portions of the crowd for different pieces of that influence kind of brings people together in the audience as much as it has brought us together on stage and in a place of sort of sharing culture and sharing joy and sharing our music with each other. So yeah, I think if I were to tell someone what to expect from one of our shows, it would be like, maybe don't have too many expectations, because it's really different every time. And we're kind of a big band, so we play, you know, in whatever formation of people that are available or that fit the space. So kind of every show is a different combination of variables and factors with who's playing and what kind of music we're playing.
And we interact with the crowd a lot. I mean, I feel like we change our set list mid-show all the time just based on what's happening in the crowd. And if people are dancing, we just try to keep up the beat and keep up the energy.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's kind of a roller coaster of genre exploration. And I think sharing music is a great way to share humanity as well. That part sounds a little cliche, but I think it's also true.
Sweet. And I'm very curious in general, because not only do we have the Mountain Ear, but we now have little sub-publications coming out monthly called the Caribou Current. We're doing a monthly feature called Under the Influence. We're kind of collecting responses to keep artists coming for a bit. So I'm curious if there are any albums that have resonated with you guys over the years or influenced the sound of Patchwork Jack or your individual music work or anything along those lines. Are there any albums that stick out to you?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Let me just pull out my playlist real quick.
Let's see what we're working with. Dude, that's a great question. I feel like,
I mean, I can speak for you. I think that Lory has been super influenced by someone called Pokey Lafarge.
True. Absolutely true. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of Pokey Lafarge, but they're a band, I think, out of Chicago that really blends a lot of like old time roots influence with some modern sounds too. But they just got the stuff. I don't know. Their show is so fun, super energetic. They kind of take old time string band and bring it into a sort of modern era, and it's really something special. So yeah. I can't even point to one album. I think just the whole discography of Pokey Lafarge George has been a huge influence on me, but maybe everyone else can share an influence too.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, I feel like a lot of my influences early on were kind of more a mixture of like indie rock when I was in high school, as well as a lot of the like classical and klezmer songs that I played on violin as a kid. But as a mandolinist, I've definitely been pretty influenced by Tim O'Brien, Chris Dealey. You know, I really love Philly Strings and Green Sky Bluegrass. So kind of a lot of the kind of classic, like, I don't know, newgrass scene.
Barak loves the Decemberists.
I love the Decemberists.
Yeah.
I love the Decemberists. I love Devotchka, and I really love Cloud Cult. So I would say like those have been huge for me in approaching the accordion, which is sort of an enigma of an instrument that can often struggle to like blend in with other musicians. Like definitely listening to Devotchka and listening to a lot of the cumbia songs that Tommy's been bringing to us. I'm trying to find some of those wonderful musician names, but you know, it's all about figuring out like how to bring this sort of strange instrument into the fold and like blend with the sounds of the rest of the band.
Absolutely. Jenny, you got a favorite influence you want to share?
Recently I've been really into the Wood Brothers.
Yeah.
I grew up playing jazz and classical music mostly, so I really like that band. And I love Wilco.
Love Wilco.
Absolutely. I like the Wood Brothers upright bass player is like one of my favorite bass players. That's some really cool stuff. Yeah. Well, shoot, I don't think we gave you a single album.
Real Time by Tim O'Brien and Daryl Scott.
There we go.
I love that album for just like a kind of classic duo of mandolin and guitar.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's anything else in general that's coming up for you guys that you would want to add or talk about more. I know you guys are practicing up in Manitou Springs, and I'm sure that's for other shows kind of coming around, but is it for other projects, or just what's coming up in the Patchwork Jack world?
We spent a lot of last year working on our debut album. We got a record coming out this year. No set deadline yet, but
Real soon.
We're in the mixing process. We've got all the recording done. So
Tell them who we're working with.
We're working with Cowboy Cowabunga Records. This is just outside of Evergreen, Colorado. Mark Anderson is awesome guy, friend of ours, and super stoked to be working up in his studio. So yeah, keep an eye out. We're super excited. We've released like a live demo EP that you can find out on the streams and whatnot. But this will be our first full length feature studio album to be released to the world, which we're so excited to share.
And we just got accepted to FOCO MX. We're pumped about that.
Yeah, we're playing Fort Collins with the Fort Collins Music Experiment Festival, FOCO MX, in late April this year. Stoked to be a part of that community as well.
Sweet. Yeah, I don't know. I think those are all the big questions that I have on my end.
Sure. Did we, to the band, are there anything that we need to say that we haven't said? Anything you need to share? Brock, you always have something to say.
Yeah, Shane just basically writes songs about his relationships. And back a couple of years ago when he was living a really turbulent relational life, it was like sick. He was producing all these songs about heartbreak and about wondering what people were thinking and about walking away and walking back and not knowing what to do. But we're not really sure what's going to make the material for the next album because now he's like in a happy relationship. So sort of like a big moment for the band, wondering what this guy's going to write next out of his genius brain.
I know. Unfortunately, I'm like in a really happy relationship right now. It's been happy for so long.
Damn.
I guess we could write songs about love that are happy.
We could try.
We'll try. Thanks, Barack. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys for taking the time to do this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for giving us the call. I haven't done this in a long time, but it's been meaning to get back. Such a cool spot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, all the Peak to Peak area is great, and we're excited to have you back.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks so much, Jamie.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much to Shane Lory, Shane Nelson, Barack, and Jenny for coming on board and joining us for the podcast. And a special shout out and well wishes to Tommy. If you want to see Patchwork Jack performing live, they'll be coming to the Jamestown Mercantile located at 108 Main Street in Jamestown on Friday, March 13th, 2026, starting at 7 p.m. To learn more about the band and find their music wherever you get your music, be sure to head to their website at patchworkjack.com. You can also follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this week's episode of Music of the Mountains, Where to Be and What to See. We'll be back very soon with another episode of the Mountain Ear Podcast. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Podchaser, the whole works. If you want to subscribe to the Mountain Ear today, then head to the mtnear.com and click on the subscribe button in the top right corner of our homepage. From there, you'll get full access to our digital archives and scanned copies of our physical newspaper. And you can choose to send a physical subscription to your mailbox or to the mailbox of someone that you love. If you have any questions about or suggestions for the podcast, then be sure to reach out to me at media@themountaineer.com, my co-host Tyler Hickman at tyler@themountaineer.com, our editor-in-chief Barbara Hart at info@themountaineer.com, or general inquiries at frontdesk@themountaineer.com. We're also celebrating the release of our brand new supplementary publication, Caribou Current, and the second issue is coming out very, very soon. To learn more about the Caribou Current, be sure to head to its website at cariboucurrent.com. And finally, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram at mtn.ear, and on YouTube. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
The song that you are currently listening to is called Whiz Bang, My Heart Sang. This is a live performance of Patchwork Jack, performed live at the Garage. You can stream the EP live at the Garage, along with Patchwork Jack's single Checkered Flag, wherever you get your music. They'll be performing at the Jamestown Mercantile, located at 108 Main Street, on Friday, March 13th, 2026, starting at 7 p.m. For more information about the band, be sure to head to their website, patchworkjack.com. And you can follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Crawling, hands and knees back to my home again. Yeah. Holy water, cleanse my soul, these sins, I turned it again. Should have seen it coming, roaring like a freight train in the front yard of my head. When love feels like a wildfire, it's bound to burn itself out again.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.